Hey, hello. Is everyone there? Tanya, Yvette, anyone there?
Hi.
Soon.
We're just waiting on a couple people.
Guys, get online. We need to share about
How are
this.
you all doing?
Hey.
So,
how you all?
Abraham.
Hi, guys.
Hey, let's wait
Can
for
you hear
some
me?
people.
Oh,
Hey,
Is everybody
all.
there?
What's up? How's
Okay.
it going?
Hey, Tom.
We're gonna talk about Abraham for our group project.
So who's Abraham?
Wait, you don't know Abraham? Like, girl, no. The Abraham?
Yeah, you know.
Abraham
So,
from
Father
The
Abraham.
father of nations?
Father Abraham.
Who?
And
Abraham,
many sons.
Celebrity.
Many sons
So-
had Father Abraham.
You don't know he had many sons.
I am one of them.
He
And
was
so are
the
you.
faithful God. Wait.
Let's all
He was a
praise the
faithful
Lord.
man.
Yeah, you know, you get
With
it.
a servant
You get it.
maid. It happened. 75 years of age, boom, Ishmael came out with Hagar. But don't blame him. He's still a son to Abraham, right? I know. He had then his son. You know how old? 100 years.
Oh, that Abraham.
Imagine that
Bible
weight.
Abraham. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Silly me.
Right. So we're going to be talking about Abraham and how he is a kingdom leader who values relationship. And there is, I think, 3 components to what it means to valuing relationship. There is being a friend of God. There's an aspect of trust, and then there's understanding sacrifice. Sum, Cap, did y'all had something on being a friend of God, right? Do you want to talk about that?
yes, he was a friend of God. You know, in Isaiah like 41:8, God speak to Israel, and then said, calling them descendants of Abraham, my friend, and also Abraham friendship with God is like also mentioning, also mentioned by King Jehoshaphat, and also like Apostle James. He also mentioned that like James 2:28, we can see all of those in the Bible. Yeah. Also like Abram was accorded the high honor of being called friend of God.
That was
So
really
you know
good.
what is the meaning of friendship? It's like sharing each other. Like there's no secret between them, and they understand each other.
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of thing. It's really important to have like friendship like they have.
Yeah. And then like Proverbs 17:17 said, you know, friendship, like a friend love at all time, you know. So yeah, even God called people like a friend. This is like wow. A wow moment.
I'm learning so much about Abraham
Yeah.
and everything that came with Abraham and God's relationship. That's friendship. Abraham, since I started Googling about Abraham, he fully trusted God. He didn't just kind of trust, but he fully trusted God.
Trust,
And
yeah.
he was very obedient to him. That makes me wonder, do I fully trust God? And am I being obedient? I also learned that he demonstrated his remarkable obedience by leaving Ur. I don't even know if that's how you say it. It's in Genesis 15. God made a covenant with Abraham, and he promised him the land and descendants. And he promised him blessings and redemption, which I think is pretty cool. And now it's making me wonder the meaning of trust and what that really means, not just with humans, but trusting really fully in God. And what I found out was that trusting in God doesn't mean that I believe everything's gonna go my way and things will go wrong, but I have to still trust in him. And I can't even imagine us trying to do something as obedient as what God has asked. And that's what he actually wants us to do even now with everything, with our job, with our children, and with our life in general. So I think Abraham's like the man for trusting God fully. That's big.
That was good, Yvette.
So-
That was great.
Um,
Speaking of sacrifice,
I think what stood
Tanya,
out
did
to
you
me in the
wanna go
story
ahead and
was-
talk about sacrifice.
so what does sacrifice actually mean? It means to offer something or to give something up that is important or valued, right? And of course, the Christ offering of himself in the crucifixion is the biggest example of sacrifice we see in the Bible. But Abraham also sacrificed his son. Well, almost. God commanded him to offer his
Good.
son Isaac as a sacrifice. I mean, who does that? But God also asked Abraham to give his own son. I mean, do you think any father would do that? I don't think so. It was almost like Abraham being tested by God, and he wanted to see if Abraham would actually obey him. And then you know the story. Abraham almost went there, he obeyed, and then the Lord stopped him.
What did Abraham do?
Yeah.
Took Isaac. And
Guys.
guess what happened? God pulled through.
Wow, guys.
that lamb.
That's great. I love it. We also see Abraham's faith in this, because when Isaac asked him, like, where is the thing, what is going to be sacrificed? And Abraham said, the Lord will provide. And the Lord did. So, what stood out to me was sometimes the sacrifice is the first step towards your obedience to God, and also for God's will for you. And when the Lord sees that, he blesses us. And God exactly knew how he was gonna bless Abraham. So what does that mean for us, guys? It means that God's power to fulfill all his promises, it's true, and not only in the circumstances we face in our lives daily. So what do you guys think about that? Any thoughts?
Wait, so let me follow this. So he was a kingdom leader, he was a friend of God, and he fully trusted God.
Abraham was a kingdom leader because he valued relationships. And when it comes to valuing relationships, it has to do with being a friend of God, like we talked about earlier. And that comes with intimacy with God, knowing God, being close to him. And alongside that then comes trust. No matter what it is, we can always trust God. And then a kingdom leader who values relationship understands sacrifice and the weight that comes with that, but also the reward on the other side of it. Like you said, Tanya, the promises of God are seen in sacrifice. But I think it's in valuing relationships and having an understanding of who God is, trusting God, and understanding the sacrifice that comes with following God. Then you're able to value the relationships that you have with the people that are around you. And it's in that intimacy of knowing God that then we can apply that to our relationships and the people around us as leaders.
Wow, guys.
It's really
That's
good,
great.
guys. Thank y'all for
I
taking
love
the time
it.
to meet.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 See
See
ya.
y'all.
Have a great day.
See
Bye,
ya.
y'all.
Have a good day. Yeah.